In 2020, I did a series of 66 golden drawings that were published in a book of Gliori. Soon after that, I decided to embark on a very ambitious single installation of a gold drawing that was inspired by the Bayeux Tapestry, the idea of doing a frieze-like drawing in many sections. In the end, I did 70-section drawing. Each work is an individual work in its own right, but together they comprise a frieze, a kind of installation, which tells the story of the uncanny past year that we've all lived through. It kicks off with the beginning of the pandemic, with question marks about what is the origin of this, and then the whole world sort of going riot. It starts with the spread of the pandemic, with people, families, boats, aeroplanes, and even airborne creatures spreading the virus around the whole world. And there's a sort of dynamic to that as you see all these people and even entities spreading this thing across the globe. And I've used boats because boats are a motif that appear a lot in the Bayeux Tapestry. And then also horses, which I've sort of transformed into the horsemen of the apocalypse. In the Bayeux Tapestry, there are many kind of mythical beings. I've played with those mythical beings and created all kinds of creatures, somewhat uncanny creatures that seem to represent the time we're living in, including bats and even creatures that are no longer in existence, such as the dodo and so on. And as you move across the frieze, you have this real dynamic of life charging across the globe. And then it kind of enters a stage of lockdown where people are separated into different units and into different bubbles, almost like separate support bubbles. And you see the whole world contained in that way, and everybody going through everything at the same time, this extraordinary experience at the same time. During COVID, there was the Passover, and I was very influenced by some of the imagery of the Passover, in particular images of the 10 plagues and the evils of slavery that I've explored quite a lot in the COVIAD. I called it the COVIAD. It's a kind of take on the idea of the Iliad, a kind of heroic poem representing a particular moment in time. So I wanted to make that kind of connection. But the ultimate inspiration was the Bayeux Tapestry, the sense that I wanted to create some kind of significant work representing our times that's very ambitious but very, very rich in detail and absolutely brimming with hundreds or even thousands of symbols that people can spend time interpreting, many of which are of particular relevance to our time. And there's images of DNA and molecules and viruses and transformations in nature going riot. But then there's also historical moments, unforgettable images such as the death of George Floyd, and then the toppling of all the statues and the transformation in the way we want to view history and how it's going to go forward. And then towards the end, there is a great image of hope as the vaccines arrive, as if from heaven almost, with wings. They're almost like angels, these vaccines. And then the world gets vaccinated and kind of immediately looking hopefully up at the skies at the end. And as they look into the sky, they see sort of distant planets. And I've put the spacecraft that landed on Mars as the sort of final image in the COVIAD, the sense of the great achievements of humanity, not just in terms of medical science, but also in terms of exploration and hope.